Tune in to Heel of the Ring podcast on the Sports Jedi Network channel. May the sports be with you. Because I am the hero the Sports Jedi deserves, but not the one it needs right now. Long live Lexus King.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Sports Jedi Network. This week in professional wrestling, we're going to talk about everything about the week all across the professional wrestling landscape. First and foremost, we're going to bring in, besides my co-host, we're going to talk about our sponsor, our new sponsors, Dude Wipes. Stay fresh, stay dirty, fight dirty. And also, we're teaming up with Dude Wipes to clean all the shit out. Let's go. What's going on, Chris? How are you?
What is up? What is up? I'm good. Yeah, shout out to Dude Wipes, man. Dude Wipes they're great. They're great. Yeah, they're also wrestling this week was okay. It was, I wouldn't say great, but it was good for the most part. And we're gonna hear once again another Saturday to break it down for you guys. So I'm excited.
We're going to debate about that. That's where we're going to get into. That's where we're here. That's why we're going to clean things up on our debate talk. Of course, in a wild week of professional wrestling. Let's go Monday Night Raw. Big announcement as the WWE Monday Night Raw and wrestling family got bigger. The bloodline extends. But first, coming out of a hot Philadelphia arena, they were in Philly, the city of brotherly love. Let's go right into what really was the main caveat came out of Monday Night Raw was Naomi. First and foremost, we want to say congratulations to Trinity Fatu, Jimmy Uso, aka Naomi, with their expecting of their child. She comes out, Pierce comes out, gives her the floor, a little emotional. We heard it via the Stephanie podcast. They teased it. They did a good job with production wise. She mentioned it. They're expecting. But I love how she snapped into form, into the heel, and told Pierce to get the hell out of the ring. Turned totally, her hormones are running, and I loved it because she kept the heel persona, giving the crowd a little bit of a yay, and then wait a minute, I'm still heel, and I love how she told everyone. And by the way, you all you have is make sure you get on that registry list for a gift.
Yeah, no, I like the way they did it. I think it was very expected. I think we all kind of knew what was taking place, especially when they did that little teaser before Naomi walked out. Obviously, congratulations to Jimmy and Naomi. She's not getting any younger. She's been in the business for a while now, so she kind of has. If she really is this something they really want to do, they got to do it now. I'm not gonna be that guy. I'm not gonna try to be that guy. But what's next for the women's title? Because wow, Naomi is she was doing the best work of her career. I mean, this was truly her peak. I don't know if she comes back, she'll get this. She'll be where she was. But obviously, doing what she has to do, doing what she wants to do outside, having a family, obviously, that's a more of a priority, obviously, to her too. But I think what's next for the title, Stephanie. I think Stephanie's gonna win it now. And she'll eventually, have that title for a long time, maybe even until Naomi gets back in 9 months and some change. So, but I thought it was really good. I really liked how Naomi got back into the heel persona because a lot of people were cheering her, but she had to remind people who she is. So I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Adam Pierce out there, kind of taking the shit too. So it was a good segment. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, we'll talk about that women's landscape real briefly. I wanted to say this for me, and it's just my statement, my statement, my opinion. It's great for, like you said, her age, mid-30s, her love professed for her and Jimmy. No one, it's none of our business. That's their. They want to start a family. Phenomenal. Who are we to be selfish and say no? Because she's given us everything in the ring, blood, sweat, and tears. If they want to have a family or happen, congratulations, great. Professionally wise, the timing was just a little bit not in her favor. She finally broke through and become the face of the women's division, the world champion. Come get us. Now, we could debate if that title reign was going to be a lengthy title reign or a short one, because the Clash of Paris, like you mentioned, Stephanie Becerra was the number one contender. we don't know where that went. First and foremost, let me shout out to D-Walk is in the building. What's going on? What's good, my friend? Hope everything is going well with you there. Hope everything is going really, really well. Secondly, now that the title is vacant, there's opportunities. When one door closes, another opens. Opportunities for that WWE Women's Division on Monday Night Raw for new, fresh faces or women that step up. We can mention all these different women. You just mentioned Stephanie Vicaire. Stephanie Vicaire was the #1 contender of that Evolution Battle Royal. She's supposed to be, I don't know where they're going to stand with that, if that's going to be a matchup for the world title at that moment. I don't know. Let me ask this here. Let's talk about some of these women opportunity. I can see where Roxanne Perez gets an opportunity to get in that picture. Part of that big storyline on Monday Night Raw. I'm going to give you all the ladies, and we're going to talk about a case for each one of them. Roxanne Perez, to me, could be an opportunity for her. You could actually have her own partner, Raquel Rodriguez, step up and make a name for herself. Opportunities awaits for all these women. Stephanie Vicaire is one. I'm trying to think of others at the moment. What's Chris?
I don't think people want to see Io Sky and Rhea again. So I think it's good that we're including guys or girls like Roxanne Perez, Raquel Rodriguez, because I think most people are tired of seeing Io Sky and Rhea Ripley, kind of going back and forth for the title. I hope they don't put this title back on Io, because I would like your idea with Roxanne. I personally like Stephanie, but if you don't want to give it to Stephanie right now, Roxanne Perez is a good option. She is really, really good with that group. Again, that also gives something for when Liv Morgan gets back, right? Because we kind of know the thing going for Roxanne is going to be that feud with Liv when she gets back, if that's what it is. So she could have the title, or Raquel. I don't mind Raquel. She's kind of been the standout lately of Judgment Day, in my opinion. She's done some of her best work she's done in her main roster career up to date right now. So I wouldn't mind her getting a shot either. Again, that Raw roster has a good balance of females, and obviously Becky's on that, right? She's the Intercontinental title. So those other women can go, fight for a meaningful title if they're not up here in the world title scene. But I would like Roxanne and Stephanie. Those would be my two choices. I think that elevates Roxanne and
let's talk about
Judgment Day even more.
Let's talk about that those two ladies. You say either one. Roxanne names comes out first, which she's been doing a great job on. Chris Van Fleet had a great interview with Roxanne Perez. Of course, she feel out comfortable now, living up to that prodigy standard now with Monday Night Raw being on main television. Here's a chance, and I've mentioned this, and I said this many times again. I think Liv Morgan, when she returns, there's long-term storytelling where you have some short-term implication right now with that World Women's title being part of Judgment Day. And I think it's time for Raquel Rodriguez. I'm putting a case, and I'm waving the Raquel Rodriguez flag right now. I would like to see her being the World Heavyweight Champion, because when Liv comes back, I've said this time and time again, the biggest heartbreak for Liv Morgan is not Dirty Dom possibly going off with Roxanne Perez or teasing that, or to me, the biggest heartbreak is losing the support and the love of Raquel Rodriguez. They're multi-time women tag team champions. She's been watch her back against Rhea Ripley. She's she's supposed to be her comadre in the Judgment Day to report and say what's going on, being her eyes. And if she totally focused away from Liv and said, no, I love the taste of the spotlight of the world title, plus I got this young up-and-comer blue chipper in Roxanne Perez with me, Mijita, I'm going to break your heart. And I think as fans, we could resonate. Liv Morgan fans, that heartbreak to me will resonate more than Dom. Oh, we respect that from Dom. What do you expect it? Once a cheat, always a cheat. Is that's what they, leopard doesn't change the stripes, all those cliche. But when it comes from something out of the blue, because we're expecting that from Roxanne to be that quote unquote Jezebel to come in there and take away and wreck it. But no one's expecting it out of Raquel, her friend, her eyes, and man, talk about an engaging storyline there. And makes also look, they've been showcasing Raquel strong in the last few weeks since Liv's absence. with, she looked like a menace there, slapping JD McDonough at Triple Mania in Mexico last week. We've seen her get some, slamming people, doing this, her build is so strong. Although, Chris, I'm not opposed of you, like you said, Roxanne Perez. Look, I seen Roxanne Perez from a 2.0 a day winning the women's breakout tournament. Watching her inception in NXT 2.0, coming in there, physically seeing her career, seeing her grow, watching her in the house shows in Orlando and Sanford, in Orlando, and so forth. Roxanne's growth has been a pleasure to see it, but I still think I would like to give that opportunity to Raquel. That's my case for Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. I don't know if they're ready yet. I mean, not ready yet. If we're tired of seeing that yet, that's what I meant to say.
Oh,
I mean,
I don't. As I'm not. Are we not tired of seeing them go one-on-one, or are we tired of seeing them as champions?
Their title reigns, because it's like, okay, and again, Rhea as champion isn't going to be boring. It's not. I'm not saying she's boring, but if she's still defending her title, she's demolishing all the competitions, and none of the matches are starting to get fresh. It's like, oh, here's Rhea's Rhea Ripley winning it, and again, Rhea is the biggest attraction in women's Raw side. I'm not gonna deny it. She is a resistible force. And Io Sky, we were calling her the best professional wrestler, period, in the WWE circuit. But you don't want to flame that out too much, Chris. And I'm just, something different. They could circumvent back to it to them, but not right. I don't know they need it right now. I wouldn't mind them going to tag team action to go. If you're gonna have the Kabuki Warriors, Chris, or your current women tag team champions. There's story there. There's meat on the bone with that route if they want to go that way.
Yeah, I definitely think either way they go with whatever we said, they couldn't go wrong, right? Because I think Stephanie, or it's not Stephanie, even though I think she will win it soon, but I think Roxanne.
Oh, she's next. We're going to talk about her next.
Or Roxanne and Raquel, one of those two. Again, they're going to elevate Judgment Day. Judgment Day is going to be that group that they're going to be around for a while, whether it's the same members or not, right? That group's just going to keep getting elevated, and they're going to be one of the top groups on not just Monday Night Raw, but in WWE. So I wouldn't mind whoever wins that. And I like Raquel, but I think it's going to be Roxanne.
Give me a second. I had a last in a little bit of a hoarse voice. No, I agree with you. Now, the Stephanie Vicaire. A lot of people online are having that conversation that they bring up Elevate NXT talent and they sit around in catering. They sit around where they're not investing time, TV opportunities. We're seeing a little bit there with Stephanie Vicaire after winning that Battle Royal. It felt like they cooled her off a little bit. Like we don't want to seem, because I asked this question, is that the WWE listening or cautiously listening to social media? Oh, they're force feeding us, Stephanie. They're pushing us quickly. But here's the other side of the coin. If that's the case, you can't say that. You can't use that as an excuse to cooling off Stephanie and Julia and not listening to when we want Cross. I mean, it's a tough, and I know it's two different subjects, but the main subject is social media engagement or listening.
I mean, what have they done with Julia since winning that United States title? I know, I wanted her to take it off Zelina, but it's like, what was the point? Really, now she's not doing anything. They made her want to look like a star, and they expect us to think of her as this big star when they don't present her that way. So I don't know. She should be really in that range on, in that world title scene, but I don't mind her being the United States champion either, but she's not in anything meaningful. She's just, what is she even doing? She's just getting shown sitting at ringside with the title. So I don't know. And Stephanie, look, I think Stephanie, going back to that, I don't know if they cooled her off. Maybe because obviously we're not seeing as much of her, I don't know if the crowd, I don't know if they want to push her too soon and the fans are like, oh, we're getting this already too soon, or they're force feeding a lot of her. But I don't understand that either, because she's great. I mean, what's the force feeding? They complain about everybody getting, whether it's Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Bianca Belair, like everybody is complaining that's forced. Everybody gets force fed. So you're gonna get that complaint about anybody when it's Stephanie too, especially that since she just got to she's newer to the main roster than a lot of these people. I think she's gonna win it. I think they're holding her back a little bit to maybe get some things ready. But I think this feud with Naomi was gonna be big. I thought, obviously, the circumstances. Obviously, it's not. But I'm that's the only thing. I don't know what's really gonna happen from here. How is she gonna get back? Are they just gonna do a tournament? Are they gonna have her just stick her in there? I don't know. I don't know. That's why I would say Stephanie, even before Roxanne and Raquel, like we talked about, because again, she was next in line, and I think she was gonna have a feud with Stephanie, but I don't know. I don't know. Either three of those women, I think, could be next to win that title, and I think they could fight each other. Whether it's Raquel and Stephanie or Roxanne and Stephanie, I think something could happen to where they fight for the vacated title.
Yeah, I see your point, because right now here's an opportunity for WWE to create new stars in that women's division. Now, us as fans, and we need to allow WWE to cook and develop these new stars. But they have to. But here's the one thing, though, I got to give a little bit of a pushback when it comes to Vaquer. I need a storyline with her going in, not just that she shows up, and WWE she's got the rocket. All right, you got the rocket pack on you, but give us a story while you're ascending with that rocket pack to the top. That's all we ask. Give us a compelling storyline for her. Could it be now the chase of the women's title, now that she had an opportunity, won the battle royal and failed, and it's her redemption story to rise? Look, maybe that's where Stephanie Vaquer, where we're going to get invested emotionally in her character. We know the in-ring and the presentation is top-notch superstar, mega main event superstar level. But we still got to get that. I still think you got to hit in that emotional investment part with the fans when it comes to Stephanie Vaquer. Whether, look, Julia I think they're doing that with Kiana James. I got to see where that goes. Maybe they should have, and this is just second guessing. Maybe they should have let Selena held the title a little longer and brought in Kiana James, where Kiana is that factor to help her get over the top with the storytelling in that chase, lining up talent for Julia to psych her up or build her up so she could take that title eventually from Selena. Selena, regardless of the fact her short title run, but she was on Friday nights defending that title against different opponents. We saw that title, but we haven't seen Julia on TV with that title defending. So it's a trust crack, because forever, you're always going to compare Julia and Stephanie Vaquer in their careers in the WWE. They're going to be like ham and cheese, peanut butter and jelly. They're going to be yin and yang, all that stuff. They're always going to be measured to one another, and that's a fun. It's a fun thing. It's a fun thing for that. Yeah, that's a great Trish and Lita. That's a fun thing there. Going forward, we'll see where the women's division. But I tell you one thing: the women's division is open, because we don't know what avenue WWE is going to take. If they're going to go, which way they're going to take us on. Just tell us compelling story. Even Bailey. Let's not even discount or forget about Bailey. Bailey's going through a character metamorphosis switch where she's going to borrow a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and I can't wait to see what kind of gumbo of a character Bailey's going to give us. Is it a babyface? Is it a heel? Is it a tweener? Is she going to be unhinged at times? Is she going to be, the hugger at times? And does that going to help her propel where she's developing a character and there's this world woman title opportunity? Now, I'm not going to lie. Bailey wins that world title. It's not going to she could continue to elevate and bring that title to another level of excellence while you get the Vaquers ready with the storytelling. While if they feel Roxanne is not quite ready for the lights and the spotlight, or they don't just feel comfortable with a Roxanne, with a Raquel yet as the world champion, chasing that, they are pushing the story while Liv returns. Liv is still a couple months away. Liv ain't coming back next week or 6 weeks from now. It's a little bit away from Liv Morgan to return, and you want to still give some filler or some time. They still got to chase for those women tag team titles. So there's a lot of interesting moving parts. for creative when it comes to the women's division. But I'm ready. I'm open-minded. I'm waiting to see, because no one expected a pregnancy. And now that just turns curveball. Now we're gonna find out what the WWE writing team and creative has in store for us. Now is when the rubber meets the dirt when it comes to the creative, Chris. So I'm waiting for it. I think anything else you want to add before we ask more stuff for Raw?
No, I thought Raw was fine. I thought again, the state of the women's division, they're strong. They'll figure it out. I think now the writing team, obviously they got to do some things, and now we're really going to see what they're about. We're really going to see about, maybe we see something about this on Unreal next year. Who knows? But yeah, I think they'll be all right. I thought Monday Night Raw overall was a good show, but that was the big thing that came out of it.
Yeah, and of course they added Extreme Rules. I gotta give honorable mentions for a kind of a PG type WWE. Now they're still not rated R-ish, but they still give homage to the ECW. Of course, being in Philadelphia with the Extreme Rules main event between Jay Uso and Braun Breaker. I liked that he gave a new Jack vibe for Jay Uso coming out with the gear. Paul Heyman's promo earlier in the night, very ECW-ish, very Paul Heyman or Paul Lee from back in ECW. I love that too. The match, hey, people complain. WWE said you guys complain about the disqualification finishes with the heels on top. Well, we're giving you a hardcore Extreme Rules match, and it's still the same result. Of course, Tribal Chief Roman Reigns showed up. Fans were going crazy every time he showed up. The OTC chant. But here's one thing that went off the air. They set up that match between Big Bronson Reed and Roman Reigns for next week's Clash at Paris. Your thoughts on that? Let's go. I want to see this.
I think it's great, man. Bronson Reed's finally getting a big match against a big opponent. And I love it. I love it. It's going to be a big hitting match. Bronson Reed probably wouldn't be surprised if he win. Actually, I kind of wouldn't be surprised if he wins. I think they should elevate Bronson Reed. But if you're gonna have Roman Reigns lose to anybody in that group, it should be realistically Braun Breaker. So I don't see really Roman Reigns losing that match, actually, now that I really think about it. But it's gonna be a really, really good match. Obviously, Bronson Reed's from overseas. He's from Australia, so maybe he'll get some overseas love. But it's gonna be a good match. Again, the storyline's been good with him stealing his Jordan, which those Jordans aren't cheap. All right, those are not cheap. Those are some really, really good Jordans. So Roman Reigns is gonna get some revenge. He's gonna win, but I'm happy for Bronson Reed, man. He had some injuries. He was out because he had a kid, so he's back. He's in a really good spot in his role in the company, so he's gonna have a really, really good match. I'm excited to watch it.
We'll see. We'll see where that goes. That setup, Clash at the Castle, is being set up. The card is being shaped out really well. One thing where this was a lot of women heavy, because we had the Bailey promo, we had the Naomi, the possibility with Liv in Judgment Day, keeping her name alive along, remembering with Raquel, Roxanne, and all that good stuff. Here's another one though, the Becky Lynch Natalia match. It was a little, because if you follow social media or you listen to the Busted Open show, or you watch AAA wrestling with Natalia Neidhart, has a kind of a split personality. She's Natalia in WWE, Natty outside of the WWE world, where she's just this shoot badass fighter outside of WWE, but in WWE she's this happy-go-lucky Natalia Neidhart, where I don't know, I didn't follow up. I don't know if she had a shoulder injury, if it's a legit work or shoot, like, oh, it was a work shoot, brother, whatever, where she tapped out and they couldn't proceed with the developing of Natty character. I didn't hear her interview or the heart attack hour that she has on Busted Open to follow up to find out if she was really legitimate. But first and foremost, I want to congratulate her, because she's the first female to win the Luke Des Award on the Cauliflower Holly Club. Congratulations to Natty Neidhart. Natalia Neidhart continues to get accolades and flowers in her wrestling career. But let me ask this here. Did they do a good enough job to introduce you or tease Natty?
No. No, she still came
I
out
agree.
there. She still came out there with that same, type of outfit. She didn't look tough. She didn't come out with, the mouthpiece. Looked like she was going to do an MMA fight. She came out with that same, hard cowboy type of gear that she likes. She didn't snap. She didn't really have a long match. Kind of felt like a squash. I don't think WWE did a good job of presenting that
It is
character.
pumpkin season.
And yeah, true. But this is the thing, like, because I listened to Busted Open and she talks about it. I think she's scared that WWE isn't going to use the character right. She likes from that character outside the indies or outside of WWE because she can control it. I don't think she wants to, or whatever. But at the same time, WWE could easily. I don't understand why they wouldn't change something up with her. Again, Naomi's gone. You have no heels. Why couldn't she just snap during this match and now we got something? I don't know what they want to do with Natty. I think, do they just want to keep her just to keep her so she can't go anywhere else at this point because TJ's there? I mean, can you do something with her, please? Instead of having her to go do all this other cool shit in AAA, GCW, and all these stuff when she could be doing it for your show. She's talked on Busted Open about how she's done probably more outside shows than she has WWE this year. That's kind of embarrassing if you ask me. So she needs to snap. She needs to be featured more on this show, man. They have no heels. They have the potential to actually make her a top heel on a brand, and she hasn't been top women's division since she's won the title in the SmackDown Live days. So you got to do something with Natty, man. It is time. She's doing arguably some of the best work of her career, even though she's always been great. But noticeably in the fans, this is the moment right now where fans are finally realizing that Natty isn't just a jobber and that she's well respected in the business. So you have to do it. Tell me not. It's taken Natty so long for people to get her respect. Every time, because she came from that Divas era, and she didn't really do much. She was kind of a valet for TJ and David Smith. So she needs to get more respect, and I think they need to pull the trigger and make her snap.
Yeah, and they had an opportunity, be honest with you, to do what happened to the WWE. Did a wonderful job with the digital media packages, backstage, on Twitter, on X. They haven't done. They went away from that. Mm-hmm. They've gone away from that for a while now. Where seeing her back in the locker room, getting attended in the shoulders, and the doctor checking her, and she just doesn't want attention, and she don't want medical attention, and she just snaps upset. I'm tired of this. They teased that a little bit when we saw the when we had the Pure Fusion collection that she was getting. I'm sick. Natalia was teasing that back then. They did better job months or a year ago with that than they're doing currently now. Why can't we get her backstage when she's upset and not diminishing Alpha Academy, the two members in that, and Maxine or Tozawa, but guys, I appreciate it, but I need to be alone. I need to there's counter programming, and there's counter, and people borrow from companies. I gotta go find myself, right? You have another Canadian saying, I gotta, want to throw a rib at All Elite, hey, I gotta go, Natalie, I gotta go find myself. I'm going to go find myself, like, in that manner, and go, and boom, they just missed that. Listen, I was one of those that wanted to see her as the inaugural Intercontinental Champion back then in December. Didn't happen. We know that her time is ticking for her to be around to then when they're leaving, then all the fake flowers, admiration. Oh, I can't believe she's leaving, or she's gone from the company. She deserves better. We're voicing now, WWE. We don't want to go behind a "we won" hashtag or this and that. We're asking you, the performer is in your company, over doing the best work in her career outside of the company. Bring it onto the screen. Why do we have to wait to be hashtag and go on and bring negativity to your company? When I mean negativity is negative posts, like the way Cross, the way Truth. We got something here where it could be set up positivity and give us something feel good in a division. Hey, we're not saying she needs to be the world champion tomorrow. No, we just want to see that character develop and see where it breeds. Look, some people wanted to see a heel Cena. You guys gave it to us. You guys didn't presented it well. That's another story, another day. We got it. It didn't work. We moved on. Everybody did this. Sip their lips. That's what give us that with Natty so we can see where it works. Let's see. She had the opportunity. She won't go in her Guinness Book of World Record career and her illustrious wrestling career without saying, what if I would have got this? Let us have it. Let us see it while she's working strong. That's all we ask. That's plain and simple. We want to see Natalya. We want to see Natty out there kick ass with the MMA shoot, with the mouthpiece. Go. Give it to us. Or not, let her go work in at TNA then. Please, against Marsha Slamovich.
Oh my God.
Let it be that.
Yes.
Give us that.
Yes.
Tessa, Natty. Give us that. Hard-hitting women.
Two-third.
You're not going to give it to us on WWE TV.
No, absolutely not. They're not going to give it to us in WWE because of Tessa, and they're not going to give it to us on TNA because they're not going to let Natty go. I think I take that back. They could. If they're letting her do Bloodsport and AAA, I don't see a problem with them letting her do TNA. But I hope that's going on in the future. But yeah, especially now, they need to extend that they need to extend that storyline with Masha. They already had their shit going on in GCW. Kind of bring that into TNA and have a feud on going from there. And but yes, her and Tessa would absolutely slap.
And speaking of that, we're gonna slap a little bit of Dude Wipes because Chris just cursed. So Dude Wipes are sponsor of our channel. So every time there's we're gonna get a little bit of a Dude Wipe refresher. Wipe away the shit out of the mouth. Let's go.
You need to do
Chris,
you need to do the Honda commercials and Dodge commercials instead of Dana.
Chris, let's talk about NXT. Speaking of the brotherly love, going into the into the city of brotherly love at the Met. First and foremost, before the NXT kicks off, we see the ring, the venue. It was different. I'm gonna be honest with you. It was different for me to see being at the Performance Center, seeing them when they go on the road, so forth. There, I like the balcony because it reminded you of a cheaper Bahamas-style ballroom or kind of a Bahamas-style ballroom look. I did not like the first row being so far back. It felt like we back in the COVID age. That's the only thing that I was a little bit disconnect because the way the arena was set up. That was a little bit of a disconnect for me personally. But all in all, it didn't take away from the opening contest, Iramura versus Josh Briggs. In that, all in all, just another street fight there. Marsh, a little ECW. We got Briggs cut, with the trash can spot. He gets the victory, which I thought he needed it more. What's your thoughts on the hot start and the crowd, and what did the arena look like to you in your eyes?
So I've at the Met. I've actually seen that. I've gone outside of there. They do theater and other stuff out there. So I thought they opened it good, and I thought the crowd was hot. Obviously, every time you're in Philly, that's a really big wrestling city. I live about an hour and 15-20 minutes away from there. So they're not far from the ECW arena either. So it's a fun atmosphere. I kind of do agree with you a little bit on the theater. Obviously, they can't put the barricade. I think that ring was on the stage. So you can't put fans around the stage and have it like that. So I think they had a certain amount of fans on the stage, and then they had some seats, and they had everyone it's like you're watching a play on Broadway. That's what this looked like.
Right.
But it felt like a little bit of a disconnect because we know in professional wrestling, crowd engagement, it's a big part of the show, especially us watching at home. So that I see where you mean a little bit of that disconnect, but overall, I thought the crowd was energetic. And again, not going to I won't get too far ahead, but I'll say as the show got on, I thought they got better.
Correct. And I was going to bring that when you finished it because in the beginning we saw the crowd. I don't want to sound like a biblical, but in the beginning we saw the arena, and the arena didn't really. It kind of like. I got to give credit to all the performers, especially the kickoff with Briggs and Iwamura. By the time that match was over, I couldn't give a crap about how it looked aesthetically anymore because they bought it. They bought it, and not just them, and they kept that energy throughout the night. There was some low parts in NXT, that was it made you feel like you just bit into a sandwich with aluminum foil. We'll get to that in a moment. But all in all, I thought that after that set the tone. it went well. You know, from the Trick Williams in the back with the promo segment, Rasha Slamovich getting her referee stripes. You know, it came about in a FaceTime with Santino Marella, and Ava, where she was asserted the referee. The backstage cut with Laney Reed, you know, kind of mocking the double champ or So Ruka and, you know, Zarya come out and making fun of that speed championship that no one, you know, I don't know if they discontinue the speed or what, and she's still walking around with that title, and, you know, and so forth.
I think they did discontinue speed.
And she's still, you know, holding on 2 belts on, you know, and going into that, setting that tone there. I thought the Ricky Saints Jasper Troy match, you know, the classic David Goliath match there, but this David was very wise. This is a veteran who's taken on a greenhorn monster in Jasper Troy. They told that story well, where they kept, you know, one thing, and I agree with others that critiqued it. I would have liked Jasper Troy to get back up and just gotten more physical against Ricky Saints, but then now you're gonna write Ricky Saints off of TV again after getting a victory. So I understand why they didn't rise Jasper Troy to beat up Ricky Saints after the match, because then also I think they want to go their separate ways. I think Jasper's going to do something different and Ricky's going to do something different. And if Jasper were to look strong and get his heat back by beating up Ricky Saints, you kind of left the door open to continue that feud, which I think the wrestling community says, all right, enough, let him do something out, you know, without guys burying one another, let them go do something different. And I think they circumvented that way. So I appreciate that, Chris. Your thoughts on the Jasper Troy, Ricky Saints dynamic?
I think they clearly, again, I've said this for a little bit, I think they clearly see big things in Jasper Troy. I mean, he got a shot against Toba Femi right away when he got in. And him having good matches against Ricky Saints. I mean, Ricky Saints is going to be one of the next guys from that roster to go up to the main roster, right? So they're definitely see something in Jasper Troy. He has a great look. I thought the match was good. It made sense. Jasper Troy is the powerhouse. Ricky Saints, you know, kind of has to fight through that. I thought the crowd was, again, a little. They liked this match. I thought they were into this one. But I thought the match was good. Again, Jasper Troy, he's a future NXT champion. He's a future NXT champion. And they keep having, if he keeps going against opponents like this and he keeps getting built up, I wouldn't be surprised if it's sooner than later.
Well, we'll see where that goes. They
clearly see more in him than Tasha.
He checks the box, dude. The guy is big. He's meant. Do you mean Tyra May Steele?
Or Tyra May Steele, yeah.
Tasha Steele's in NXT is TNA.
But still,
yeah, we love the Boricua badass.
We'll talk about her later.
Hey, listen. Speaking of that, Tyra May Steele, we see her in the program tonight where there's a peace treaty and back and forth with this. This one, I understand what they're trying to do because they're trying to build up Tyra May Steele's first ever premium live event matchup, teaming up with Trevian Heights, where, of course, you got 2 seasoned veterans there in Chelsea Green and Ethan Page that they could make anything over and get it over, whether it's a comedy, whether it's in-ring. I thought this promo between them, I don't know, it felt like wrong place, wrong time, wrong venue. I know they're in the city of brotherly love and they want to show the love and all that good stuff, but I don't know. It just didn't. It wasn't really the sharpest. You could tell that Tyra May and Trevion, they need a little more coaching. Where we talk about that on Thursday nights when it comes to TNA and the Performance Center coaching, where promos versus the TNA talent. This one here, you saw professional WWE main roster talent doing circles on NXT promo talent. You see the difference in the delivery, the cadence. Doesn't mean it wasn't a back segment, no, guys. But you could tell the levels of expertise when it came to deliverance and cadence and punchlines in the promos. It's not nothing negative. It's like there's room for improvement when it came to the American Olympians.
Yeah, and I thought Steele's I thought their enthusiasm was good, and I think Tavion Heights is going to be a big deal once he gets developed. But yeah, the segment it was okay. Again, Ethan Page and Chelsea, they've been doing this forever, man. They're talking about 2 amazing heels align themselves being together, right? So I'm not expecting anybody really in any of the main put anybody in the main roster, I think they'd have a hard time doing a promo between these two. With Ethan Page and Chelsea because they're so freaking good. But no, I thought they were both enthusiastic with Tyra May Steels and Tavion Heights. I liked the end of it. You know, it made the heels obviously. You know, the baby faces. You know, beat up the heels. I like that. And I think you know Ethan Page is going to hold on to that North American title for a little bit longer. And I like what they're doing. Chelsea's down there in NXT, you know, helping out the main or in NXT helping out the you know the developmenting talent. And that's why she's been in the game so long. That's why she'll be in the company for so long for stuff like this. So I like Chelsea. I like Chelsea doing her thing down there. And again, Ethan Page is doing his thing with the title, but I really wanted to pay a little more attention to Miles Bourne and Tyra May Steels. And they obviously they got some work to do, but they were both enthusiastic. So that made up for it a little bit.
Yeah, what he meant was Trivian Heights. We did see Miles Bourne in the back talking. We saw Alexis King try to give him a heartfelt apology. I'm told him, and then he attacked him, and then he pepper sprayed him. He says, you know, I'm not deaf. I mean, I'm not blind. But then I like that Alexis King pepper sprayed him. Now you are blind for a moment. I love that backstage interview. That was hilarious there. Lexus King needs to be unhinged. Let him work as the heel. Let him work about the heel that everybody hates because I think he has it in him. Long live Lexus King. You know, yeah, I think that guy. I hope they let him, you know, unhinge, let him loose, take the training wheels off of the kid and let him go. I think he had enough coaching. He has enough in-ring experience. Let the kid go. When I mean let the kid go, I mean let him go with the restrictions. Let him be him. Let him fulfill his character in NXT to his potential because time is ticking for him. They have to make a decision, elevate or release, and we don't want to see him go. We want to see him get elevated. So let the kid go. Let the kid work. Let him put his work of art on the wrestling canvas and let him go 1,000 miles an hour because I think the kid is going to deliver. Let him have the opportunities there. Allow it, NXT, for Alexis King. You need to build strong men in the division where it started. You know, we'll talk about the main event and what our opinions are where the competitors. But before we get to that, we want Lexus King to get that free range to go and branch out and do his thing. Chris, I want to talk about this here. When we saw Ava in the back, we saw Hank and Tank wants a piece of Dark State. Dark State, we see them earlier in the promo. They're kind of felt weird and wonky. It felt weird and cringy because they kind of creepily surrounded Ava. Like, what are we doing here? I thought we were going to get a Pornhub interview commercial there. Really. It felt uncomfortable. It felt creepy. It felt cringy.
I don't like or care what any of these guys do, man. Hank and Tank ain't that great to me, and the Dark State I can't stand them. So,
and then Suge Knight or whatever, Sugar, whatever. We're not gonna. I'm not gonna remember your name too much because I don't care. And no disrespect, guy. But then he said his name, and out comes Joe Henry from the locker. You say his name, and he appears. Another opportunity, another spot for Joe Henry. Boy. When is that signing happening already? Could we just already say that NXT, we are already get the graphic up. We are NXT for Joe Henry already. I mean, my goodness, he's there a lot. And I'm not complaining, but okay, it served its purpose. Joe Henry comes out, and then Cutler James cuts a weird one. I'm gonna get you from behind, or what's going on here? What in P Diddy is going on?
Again, man, I could give two shits about what these two tag teams are doing, man. Give me another tag team. The tag team division's been dead since Axiom's gone onto the main roster.
Well, at least they're trying to give us fresh new tag teams, regardless of the fact that they're not resonating to us in Dark State. Hank and Tank was already made. I think a certain injury on a Thursday night derailed where the tag team was going with NXT, but it is what it is. But we'll see where that goes. One thing about that we saw that I enjoyed was we had the Elegance brand with the personal concierge comes out. They're on a 6-woman action against Fatal Influence. To me, I thought this was the match of the night. To be honest with you, I know. For me personally, I know the main event was on fire too with the spots. but I really enjoyed all members of the Elegance brand. And also JC Jane looked completely strong as the powerhouse of Fatal Influence. The Marsha Slamovich as your guest referee. Marsha, they told the story well. Marsha did not look out of place. She looked well. She did a good job for a special guest referee. Although the last one where Ash hits Rarefied Air onto Jasmine. Referee Marsha's a little bit distracted on the outside. JC comes in, hits her, clocks her with her finish, gets the pin. It felt like Marsha did a 4 count. I don't know if it was the one when she first dropped, and that was we thought it was a 1, and then the one what came after. It looked like a 4 count. At the end of the day, I thought it was great. I thought JC looked strong, and we saw the animosity at the end of the match hitting in between Marsha and Ash.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, a little bit of delay. Yeah, I thought the 4 count. It looked like a 4 count. I think maybe she like did that to, like, I don't know, maybe like put her arm down and like kind of get into place. The only thing I wanted to say about this was a weird dynamic. It was not a dynamic. Okay, it was a weird type of match, right? Because they're both kind of heels in a sense, right? Fatal Influences are the heels on NXT. Ash and Elegance, they're heels on TNA. So it kind of it was weird seeing those two tag teams go at it, but again, I liked it. I think it made sense. JC Jane is the TNA, she's double champion, so I think her getting the finish to win made the most sense here.
It did make the most sense because it's her brand. It's her brand, but the two ladies can't see between Marsha and Ash. They just they losing focus on trying to get the TNA World Title, the Knockouts title, back to TNA, that they're going at each other's throats, which is going to be what's going to dictate for Heat Wave's premium live event. Couldn't they really put the focus on one of the two winning at all costs, no matter what, to take it away from JC Jane, or is JC Jane going to slither her way out with the TNA Knockouts champion? Because there's two TNA competitors, they don't see the big task at hand, bringing that title back to that locker room. That's the story going into Heat Wave. We'll see how that goes there. Main event time, which was a really good number 1 contenders, your TNA World Champion Trick Williams taking on Javon Evans. And I want to give shout out to Chef Dan, because I'm like, Trick keeps coming in with the title upside down. Why? Because he turned and he took it, and they said it. He turning TNA upside down with him winning. Personally, I think that was a mistake at first, and they went with it. He's slick, thought about it. I think, in emergency, he wore the title backwards, and they told him, Trick, you wore the title backwards. I'm turning, and he came up with it in his head. Kudos. I think that's just me. I don't know if there's any truth to it, but good job there. The match was great. The Javon Evans spots, what he does, that table spot that he almost missed it and landed on the outside. Corey Graves went rolling into the. He looked like the Shockmaster coming through the wall in there, and commentary back and forth they went. Trick looked like he was a dominant force with Obafemi, by the way, in the balcony watching along the two gladiators in the ring. The main event, of course, the final moments there where Trick was about to gloat, say it's over. I got Javon. I'll see you Sunday for Heat Wave. He looks up to the balcony, no other than Mike Santana. They're pointing at him, giving him and causing that moment like Trick double checked, gave Javon Evans the opening that he needed and got the victory. Now, I like how they got to the finish. I have questions.
Yeah. Yes, we do. We do have questions. Before we get into those questions, I thought that the match was excellent. It was great. This is when the crowd was obviously the most into it. That spot that Javon Evans took, man, we both were just like, oh, like that was good. I thought it was this match to win from the beginning, but I liked it. I really enjoyed the match. With Mike Santana, man, that was unexpected. We didn't expect Mike Santana to be there, because I didn't really realize it was him until they shot the camera and you really pointed it out. So that was really, really great to see Mike Santana. But yes, like Kev said, there are many, many questions. A lot of people anticipated a Obafemi and Javon Evans, kind of face-to-face or something to end the show. Kind of like, how Cody Rhodes did the point at Roman Reigns when he was sitting up on the thing. I thought that's something that we were going to get with Javon. But Mike Santana, That's interesting. You'll get more into it. And I want you to elaborate more on it because you're the one that brought it out to me in the earlier in the week. But did Mike Santana take out Oba? Is he coming for Oba and then he stared down at Trick? Is he just there to cause Trick the title for him to get a TNA title rematch? Again, we'll talk about this a little bit more on Impact. I know we did a whole review show about it, but we'll talk a little bit more about the show. But my thing is, and I asked this question there, and I'm going to ask this now: are we on the right track for Mike Santana?
And we ask that to you, chat. Everyone watching on Instagram, YouTube, Rumba, Twitch, Kick, Truvo, all the different ones. We are sponsored by Dew Wipes and Sports Jedi Network. We're wiping out the competition. So what's going on, Jay the Hunter? Salute, man. I'm doing well, Jay. I hope you're doing good as well in the chat. Jay? Salute. Yeah, we asked that question. Are we on the right track here for Bound for Glory or TNA World Title between Mike Santana and Trick Williams? My first question. Okay, Mike, you showed up. Great. You caught us by surprise, and because everyone knows we are the biggest Mike Santana cheerleaders here. No one, we that's our guy from the Bronx. That's my guy. That's Chris's guy. That's our man. That's our campeón. We asked, was it a collaboration? Was it a collaboration between Obafemi inviting you to get and voluntarily left to leave you that spotlight there, or did you take him out? Did you take out Obafemi, because you're born nasty. You don't give a shit who's in front of you. And by the way, that curse is wiped away by Dude Wipes, the sponsor of the Sports Jedi Network. Chris, I asked that question. Did he take him out, Obafemi? What do you think?
I don't know. I don't know, because a part of me wants to say yes, but but I don't know. Here's why, right? I don't know what or why Mike Santana would want to go after Obafemi after everything Trick's put him through. The thing I could see, though, did Mike Santana maybe do something to Moose to get Mike Santana to the spot that he was at? And now that could cause some conflict, because Oba could be like, yo, you beat me up or you took me out to get in my spot. Like, now it's personal, right? So I'm stuck between the two.
Okay.
I'm stuck between the two scenarios, because for bullshit or craps and giggles, whatever, I'm gonna lean more towards he just was there to cause Trick, because again, after everything Trick has put him through, after again humiliating him essentially in his hometown in the biggest show of TNA, that's revenge for Mike Santana, causing him another title opportunity.
And I think that's what you hit on the nail on the head. Mike Santana felt embarrassed because he didn't fulfill the mission at the UBS Arena in front of his friends, family, Boricua, his culture's fans. We were there. But Mike Santana later in the week says, I wasn't the one that got pinned in that match. That's why circumventing back to Trick. He went now to Philadelphia, where Trick wants to say it's his adopted home. He's from South Carolina, but he's a diehard Eagles fan to him. Right, but he actually tried out professionally with them. Family members are live there. He has a lot of ties when it comes to Philadelphia. Where Santana says, I caused you a number one contendership to try to unify titles or be a double champ. I cost you in your adopted home in Philadelphia, or you so-called adopted home. Maybe it's a tit for tat. Here's where I would love them to, me personally, if I had the creative pencil and I was part of the WWE TNA collaboration, and say, hey, let's, I've been a huge advocate, and I would love to see, I don't know if it's going to happen, for Mike Santana to take the NXT men's title. I've been saying that for weeks now. You know what? You lost in the UBS Arena. You kind of humiliated in front of his friends and family in the biggest gate. You want to make Bound for Glory the biggest attraction here, where it's supposed to be Mike Santana's redemption. It doesn't, for me, brother, it doesn't work in Lowell, Massachusetts. You're telling a New York Yankee, when I mean a Yankee, he's from the Bronx. When you think of Bronx Bombers, you think of New York Yankee. You think of the Bronx. You think Mike Santana. He's from the Bronx. You think of all that. You don't see a Yankee go into Boston territory, as Red Sox territory, and get over, brother. No, you can't. My point is, I would love him to go in there with the NXT World Title. You could get back to it tomorrow and Heat Wave. All right, let's say he didn't take out Obafemi. and I'm going to explain this creative pencil. All right, you didn't take out Obafemi. Obafemi invited you. Hey, I want you to put mind games into Trick Williams. Come in here, whatever. They collaborated. They want on one accord. They're not enemies. He didn't take them out, which like I thought he might have. He didn't. So Mike Santana says, "You got it." Trick intervenes tomorrow in Heat Wave. I got your back. I got you. I'm not gonna let you. So happen Heat Wave main event tomorrow. Javon Evans. Obafemi, maybe a ref bump where the referee gets knocked down for a moment or unconscious. Here comes Trick Williams with that TNA World title because you're going to show the TNA World title on a WWE pay-per-view or PMM live event, which we know we're going to have the Knockouts title defended, but you want to see the world champion as well. And Trick Williams, he comes out, looked like he's going to get shenanigans to hit Obafemi for Javon Evans to possibly take advantage of it. Here comes Mike Santana to try to stop, because he wants chasing that TNA World title, but Obafemi, by accident, knocks Santana by mistake. Boom, and Santana gets knocked down. They don't have to pay it off at that moment, but Santana, and it's gonna look. We don't want Santana to look like a chump. No, hell no, he ain't none. But if he gets knocked by Obafemi onto the ground, and then all of a sudden he goes on and pins Javon Evans 1, 2, 3, but it sets up for now Tuesday night where Santana ain't having it. He goes, I'm sick and tired of these NXT talent sticking their nose. I try to help out and so forth. He's pissed. He's real. I'm gonna, I gotta talk to you face to face on Tuesday to Obafemi. And then you got something brewing up in Fort Lauderdale, Florida coming up. No Mercy premium live event for NXT. Yeah. Would love to see them build Mike Santana versus Obafemi for the NXT World title in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Guess what? There is a lot of Hispanics, a lot of Puerto Ricanos, a lot of Hispanics in the South Florida area. Obafemi and Florida is supposed to be an NXT ground. If you're doing like territory, brothers. If you want to see how over Mike Santana is and you're worrying about if he's going to be able to carry the TNA brand, put him against Obafemi in Fort Lauderdale and sit back and listen to the crowd reaction for Mike Santana come out and look visually of all the Puerto Rican flags are going to be in No Mercy at Fort Lauderdale. You're going to see if you made the right decision or not. It's going to, and you know what? It makes up for the UBS Arena. Why? Because he's the first TNA talent to capture WWE Gold in 2025 in the collaboration partnership. Then you go into Bound for Glory, Mike Santana, your NXT World Champion, Trick Williams, your TNA World Champion, and then you could do it title for title like the way you did for Slammiversary. You're doing it for Bound for Glory with the men's title. You're talking about moments. You're making a huge moments with those two opposite talents for opposite companies with their opposite titles going at it at one. Books, baby, book it. It trumps any two Hardys versus Dudley Boys matchup or 3-Team Duty matchup. You got two of those titles. It trumps it, brother.
Yes, it does. Book it. Again, there's so many ways they can go with Mike Santana, but since the moment you brought up him going against Opa, I haven't been against it because him being WWE representative champion, that's great, man. That's great.
And Chris, this is one that would be Obafemi's top opponent that he's gone against. Where if you see Obafemi lose against a Mike Santana, you're not looking down on it. Oh, he's a TNA wrestler. No, Mike Santana is a 15 or anywhere from 10 to 15 year veteran in the wrestling business. I think he's like 34, 35 years old, Mike. I believe so, but I think he's been wrestling about 15 years, or since the age of 15. I think so. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let's say 10 to 15 year plus veteran in the wrestling business. You put Mike in there against Oba. It's not going to. You should feel. Then the match is going to feel. It's not going to feel terrible. It's going to feel good because you're not losing to another greenhorn. You're not. Look, it makes more sense. Like you were just talking about Jasper Troy, Mike Santana being a Obafemi trumps more a Jasper Troy beating an Obafemi, in my opinion.
Oh, 100%. 100%. 100%, man. 100%. I think a lot of people are forgetting that Santana's been in this game since 2016-ish. At least that's when I've been familiar, with LAX, him, Conan, Eddie Kingston, He had a great feud, him and Ortiz, with Eli Drake, aka LA Knight, and Scott Steiner. So he's been around Impact and there for a while. So this is his revenge tour. We asked him that too. I asked him when we interviewed him, what does this second run mean for him in TNA? And he has unfinished business. So him being NXT World Champion is, it doesn't, again, like Kev said really perfectly, it's not going to make Obafemi look less dominant. I know Jasper Choi is this big dude, but he's green. He's green. And with the momentum Santana has right now, I think give it to him, man. I agree. Book it.
Let's go with it. And look, if you're afraid of what the Performance Center is going to sound with a Mike Santana walking in there with a TNA World title, don't be afraid, because the crowd is going to be electric for Mike working into that. The Performance Center, no matter how many of those hijackers, want to syndicate across against Mike Santana, they're not going to hijack it. They're going to like Mike Santana as your NXT World Champion for a few weeks until Bound for Glory, whatever direction they want to go. Personally, if they go that route, we'll see on that. We'll put a pause on the NXT TNA conversation. We'll go right into All Elite Wrestling Dynamite. First and foremost, their first show in Glasgow, Scotland. I'm going to say this. Kudos to that arena, the O2 Arena. That place was on fire. You know what? You could have put two pieces of turds in the middle of the ring, flushing around in circle. Those places were going great, and you could have had it cleaned up with Dude Wipes. Dude Wipes, the sponsor of the Sports Jedi Network. I'm going to go right into Chris's Dynamite explosion. Go for it.
Dynamite, they were live in Glasgow, Scotland. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah. Forbidden Door tomorrow. That's gonna be electric. They got over 17,000 people in the O2 Arena, so it's gonna be huge. But they started off with, I'm not gonna go through the whole show like I always do. I'll give you some of my pointers, a few honorable mentions, and then we'll go through this a little bit quick. So Will Ospreay comes out, kind of does a promo, talks about Forbidden Door, where he gives a big, kind of a motivation to, the UK fans. Did a promo, talk about how he's hurt, but he's still going to be at the Forbidden Door because he wants revenge against Jon Moxley and the Death Riders. Moxley got in the ring to stare at Will Ospreay. He told Moxley that he was coming for him, and then out comes the team of Kevin Knight, Mike Speedball Bailey in the ring to fight with the Death Riders. So that was okay. Whatever. After the match, it was chaotic with the Young Bucks, Darby Allin, the Ops. They're setting up for that lights out steel cage match, which could take over the show. I think it's going to be a spot fest. I think it's going to be junk, but it's what it is. Now I'm going to get into a rant. So you had an AEW World Championship Tag Team Eliminators match between FTR and Bro Dito. The match was great. It wasn't it was a good match. It was honestly maybe one of the better matches on the show. So the result was a draw. So now it is announced that tomorrow at the Forbidden Door, it is a triple threat match. FTR, the Hurt Syndicate, and Bro Dito. Why the hell would you go through all this stuff just for FTR to win the tag team title? Why? You didn't have to do an eliminators match and then have a draw and then have both these teams in the later. They went to a 30-minute draw. They went to a 30-minute. Go ahead.
Creative control.
Yes. So they went exactly. So they went to a 30-minute draw. It was a good match. I thought it was dumb adding both of them in the match. I'm gonna get to just the match and the part of the show that actually means something, and the only thing I'm really excited for the Forbidden Door. MJF makes a deal with Hangman. Hangman was in the ring. He called out MJF to the ring. He knew MJF wouldn't join him in the ring. So Tony Schiavone spoke on the mic and then revealed that MJF had some demands. So they were backstage where basically MJF, the Gates of Agony, and Ricochet had Mark Briscoe tied up to had Mark Briscoe tied up to a chair and basically threatened to light Mark Briscoe on fire. So MJF started pouring gasoline on Mark Briscoe. He had his Zippo, and then Hangman starts screaming, "Fine, you got it. Fine, you got it. Fine, you got it." What was the deal that they wanted? I don't I'm gonna be honest, chat. What was the deal that he? What was this deal
You
that
don't have to
they
use the
were trying to
contract.
establish? They didn't have to use the
They
contract. All right, thank you, because they really didn't. I don't know if I missed that part of the show, but they didn't really ally to it. All MJF was really like, I want, like, make whatever. So you got it. They didn't really elaborate towards that at the end, unless I missed it. But basically, that's how kind of they ended it right there. They had another match between Mercedes and Athena versus Tony Storm, Alex Windsor. I don't really care about that match. But obviously, I think people are more excited for the MJF and Hangman match. I'm just going to talk about that a little bit, Kev, because that's the only thing I really care about. I don't know why so soon. Why did you have to milk this out the pay-per-view right after MJF gets the title? You can't have these guys lose, either of them right now. Hangman can't lose the title, and why would you have MJF lose a title match? That's why I'm saying they did this match a little bit too soon. Am I wrong for saying that?
No, you couldn't be wrong. But here's the I'm gonna indulge me on this, Chris. For business, not for business. At the moment, for All In Texas, let's go back on the time machine for a moment. A month ago, in All In Texas, what was the going in before? Not just the Tough Fighters losing the title, but who was the one that everybody was going bananas for, that wanted Moxley to eventually drop that title to? Who was it? In your opinion, who the sickos wanted as their world champion to take that title?
In my opinion, they wanted Darby to come back and take that title.
Okay, thank you. I wanted that answer. I'm glad that we're on the same eye to eye sequence here. This is where the creative, and sometimes it sucks to listen to the fan base or listen to the online stuff. And I understand we just went on a dance because we wanted Killer Cross, we wanted Natty, and all that stuff. And we can, and again, this might be talking from the side of both sides of my mouth. But when it comes to All In Wrestling, everybody wanted Darby Allin. I think everybody felt that the feel-good story was Darby Allin becoming your AEW World Champion. Maybe they should, and that's why I tell you, be careful who you put the title on if you don't got What If or What's Next. When we said about John Cena dropping it to Cody, I don't feel anything invested for Cody Rhodes. We'll get to that in a second on for Friday Night SmackDown. When, to me, John Moxley should have went and defended that title at all. And again, this is second guessing. No, I said it to you, Chris, privately, and I think I said it on our channel. And I'm not an AEW fan, but people was like, no, AEW cannot afford to have Moxley continue holding the world title. Fans would shut the program off. They won't want to watch it. Well, that's on you know what, they fucked themselves. And by the way, this is sponsored by Dude Wipes to clean the dirty words out of my mouth. So I want to stay fresh with clean words and not talk dirty. All right, let me go back to this here. They should have let Darby, if Hangman not win, Moxley still title reign, then going into this All In, or this Forbidden Door, where it could have been Darby Allin taking on John Moxley. Now you're prolonging here. Yeah. Especially if Will Ospreay wasn't going to be healthy. If they knew about his injury, they screwed them. They screw the pooch here, because now they creatively they pigeonhole themselves, and I don't know where the hell they go.
A lot of people wanted the Hangman to just bring the title back to AEW in a sense, right? Because we haven't seen that AEW title in a month. Everybody was, including myself, I didn't like the Death Rider story, but I agree with what you said about what was next, because now you have Hangman winning that title at All In, and now they're throwing us MJF and Hangman already. Like, I don't understand. If you want an MJF to win or get a title opportunity down the road, why wouldn't you have Moxley beat Hangman and then have Darby taken, and we get Darby and MJF?
That, or even this, Chris. They went so much. They wasted All Elite Wrestling fans their time on Wednesday nights for the month of the beginning of April and the month of May with the bull crap that they gave us with MJF joining the Hurt Syndicate. 1 minute he's giving them prostitutes. He's providing prostitutes. He's providing watches, rent-a-cars to get a thumbs up, to get a thumbs down. That was the most stupidest build or stupidest storyline where, I need to get my triple B back. MFer, you had 2 tournaments that the damn owner put already. He had an Owen Hart Classic and another nonsense for a number 1 contenders nonsense. They could have easily had Max join any one of those tournaments, win that Owen, and you know what? You would have went into your biggest show in Texas with your biggest superstar, because he is the biggest superstar in All Elite Wrestling, headline against Jon Moxley, and really would have filled, and you would have had your cake and eat it too. Because even if MJF comes out as world champion, and I was talking about what's next? Because if MJF is your world champion heading into the Forbidden Door, you could have had Darby Allin come out and want to challenge and try to against MJF. If they don't, or you could have had Bobby Lashley or even Hangman. You know what? We and because they teased it during the build on that ride with it, but the opposite direction, you could have had that for or even, and I know people are going to probably roll their eyes, even Mystical. With MJF doing all this heat outside of CMLL it's a Forbidden Door show where it's supposed to be cross promotion. You could have Mystical MJF for the AEW World Title, and then you would have been like, okay, then you would have done whatever Wrestle Dream, Tony Khan, whatever fucking pay-per-views he's coming up with, Revolution.
Even now they could have done that because he's the CMLL World Champion, MJF.
There you go.
He's the CMLL World Champion right now. So instead of you didn't have to rush this, you could have had somebody else for Hangman and then had MJF and Mystico do it. Because again, I wanted to bring that up before we move on to TNA. Because again, I know we covered TNA this week. We covered TNA Thursday, so I want to talk a little bit more about this, right?
Sure.
Because this doesn't even feel like a Forbidden Door. You have Okada and Swerve, MJF and Hangman. You have the tag team title match revolving around 3 AEW tag teams. Besides Gabe Kidd and Tanahashi in the steel cage lights out match in those in that one CMLL girl from in the Mercedes Fatal 4-Way, where's the crossover? Look, I haven't kept up with New Japan since Ospreay and all of them were in there, and that's probably the problem. I think AEW, it's like they're all in one umbrella. This doesn't feel like a real Forbidden Door. But AEW scooped up all their talent. Who does New Japan have to come in and make this feel like a real Forbidden Door? We've seen Gabe Kidd already. They screwed up the way they introduced us, the American audience, to Gabe Kidd, because I think he's phenomenal, but you have him stuck with the Death Riders doing nothing. Tanahashi, we do not need this guy in 2025, bro. In a freaking lights out steel cage match. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it, but the reality is New Japan doesn't really have anybody, and that's why they wanted to add CMLL to this Forbidden Door. Where are they at? I mean, it doesn't feel like a real Forbidden Door, and it does not feel like the first 2 Forbidden Doors, man. It does not.
Chris, when I'm going to give my point here, while I give my point, can you please type up the Forbidden Door card for a moment, right? See, so you can read out some of the matches while I'll give my thoughts. And Chris is correct. There's not a lot of representation from across the different platforms, matches, or maybe you don't trust the owner or the booker to build the crossover talent. Because I remember when they first started doing the Forbidden Door, no one cared about these New Japan. Oh, they spent 2 months a month building up this Forbidden Door with talent I don't even give a shit about. You see a guy coming out with no neck and all this other guy come out and no one cared about him. Tomaichi. The first one was good. I like the way they introduced these wrestlers. Like, who the hell are these guys? Like, oh man, they're coming it wasn't kind of invasive. How many matches are on the card right now?
So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Do you want me to read them?
Okay. Sure. Yes.
The AEW Women's World Championship between Athena and Tony. The World Title match, Okada and Swerve. Kyle Fletcher versus Hiranu Tanahashi. So okay, there's two Tanahashis, I guess. The IWGP World Championship. Okay, Zack Sabre Jr., Nigel McGuinness. Which
why McGuinness?
because Zack Sabre Jr.
Okay.
is like the young Nigel McGuinness in a sense.
Did they build that in your eyes?
No.
Because we never.
No,
I don't remember
gonna
us
be
talking
honest,
about
I
this.
didn't. I'm gonna be honest. That was my first time remembering that show was even that match was even on the card. You got the tag
That's a
team
disconnect.
match. You got tag team match between Adam Copeland and whatever. You know how I feel about that. You got the fatal 4-way match between Mercedes, Pepstone, Bozilla, and Alex Winter.
Brozilla's. You're gonna like Brozilla.
Okay, she's from Stardom. It says here.
So you're gonna like her. Yeah.
You had and then you had. I like the Pest Phone, the CMLL. I saw her promo. She looked cool. And then you had the Steel Cage match, and then you have the FTR match. So
okay,
those, yeah.
9. Can we agree that the Zack Sabre is a phenomenal wrestler? Everyone loves him. Everyone thinks he's phenomenal. He's great. I agree. That's 9. I don't know. I'm pretty sure they're gonna add 3 buy-in. You mean the Boom family in wrestling? They're not gonna be forbidden. They're not gonna fight the forbidden.
Family, holy shit!
The Costco guys. They're not gonna go against the UK Costco Boom family over there. Who they eat fish and chips versus hot dogs.
All I'm gonna say is this: Eddie Kingston teased something about Forbidden Door.
All right, that's fine. They wanted the
maybe,
but here's my
Zero
Hour.
I'm getting
Zero
to. Hour. Mystico.
Oh God, here we go.
I think it's.
Ooh.
Oh wait, never mind. This is old. Forget it. Keep going. It's old. Forget it.
Okay, and this is what hurts. This is what hurts all elite wrestling a little bit because being in England, because you got to fly talent and with all the bookings independently, you got Mexico, Japan. Why not do this, Chris? Simple. Here, indulge me. 0 Hour is a forbidden door, right? We're supposed to see other companies that are forbidden to wrestle on AEW TV. Why not have a Rev Pro? You have Mercedes Moné go out there and take all these titles from all these fucking little companies and prance around as the champion, independent scene. Why not have a Rev Pro Battle Royal or a couple independent scenes from across UK in a 0 Hour though? Does that 0 Hour? The winner of that gets an AEW contract. Simple. Oh shit! Now you have to watch it, and maybe there is a wrestler that they want to sign, and they could have done that. They could have done that easily, and winner of the Battle Royal gets an opportunity or an AEW or Ring of Honor contract. It don't make a difference. It's the same shit. Where for 6 months on All Elite Wrestling, and now you know what? Forbidden. Now you got all these young kids from the independent scene. You're showcasing them, even though if it's just for a moment at the for 25-minute Battle Royal, and now you're going to do men and women. And if you want to do men, I'm okay with that as well. And now you watch, like, oh damn, that looks pretty cool. Because I'm watching some of these kids we never heard of. The kids will, you know what? Guess what you just did with those independent wrestlers? I love AEW because they gave me an opportunity to wrestle on their pay-per-view.
Exactly.
You want to make a dent on the wrestling world where you want to take viewers and followers from the WWE and TNA. By putting some of these independent wrestlers, even some of these people that watch the independent wrestlers that follow these brands like a Rev Pro, damn, AEW really gave them an opportunity on TV to do that battle royal. Even if it doesn't look, it's a 0 Hour. It's fun. It's free for everyone. Get to see these kids. Damn, I got a free opportunity on TV, on a pay-per-view, or on YouTube. AEW has to do these type of things, especially with all the counter programming and all the cutthroat stuff that WWE is doing to them. You know what? Without giving things away, you want to endear yourself you want to become the people's wrestling company. Do those little small things. And this is coming from a person who do not like AEW product. But I'm telling you how they could change the landscape or the visual or gather in the people that like myself that don't really care for the product to start caring more liking because, oh, damn, you're giving an opportunity. It could be a cousin of mine's wrestling in the independent scene, and you gave an opportunity, I'm going to watch because that's my family member, friend, or even some of the wrestlers that we by the way, I got to give a lot of credit to Ring of Honor, putting our girl Janai Kai on television, on Ring of Honor.
Oh, yeah,
TV.
I saw that. Yeah.
I wanted to give honorable mention. Yes.
That was cool, yeah.
I wanted to give that.
I didn't really.
I wanted to give that
was going on. That happened during Emergence. I forgot about that.
And she had a hell of a match, and hopefully and they're teasing bringing her on more. I believe they tease about possibly a 6-person intergender match and so forth. So for Janai Kai, I hope they give her a contract where she sticks in the major company. That's something that she wants to do, to see her on television, getting her on there with the television reps. We're proud to have her on, and she gave us a great hour and some change interview. Yeah. Made good friends with her and Janai Kai. We were like, that's how you get a person like me that doesn't follow the product invested into watching a Ring of Honor and AEW, because I have now a personal connection, because I am a fan of Janai Kai and her body of work. Now I start watching. Do that with the Rev Pro. With that, or any of the independent matches into your 0 hour, you're going to get people to garner and watch your product more. Yes, indeed. Okay, so we go. Anything else with the Forbidden Door, with the wrestling? This is Heal the Ring podcast. So Sports Jedi Network, let's go.
No, they're early tomorrow, 1 o'clock. Pre-show starts at 11, and then we got Heat Wave after. So tomorrow's going to be a good day for pro wrestling.
Your level of enthusiasm for this pay-per-view is at? Brutally honest.
Out of 10, like a 7. I want to see the lights out match. I want like a 7, 6.5. I want to see the lights out match. I want to see the world title match. I think Sabre and McGuinness is going to be a good technical battle. And I want to see how Christian Cage and the Copeland team up for the first time, even though I don't think it should have been tomorrow. But there are a couple things that I'm actually interested to see. I don't know if it's for a positive or a negative reason, but it's still going to get me tuning in. So there are a couple things that I just don't give it a higher grade than that, because I feel like the outcomes are going to piss me off.
All right. I'll be honest with you. I'm going to be totally brutally honest. I'm going to have it as background noise. I'll have it on as background. No, I'm going to have it as background noise. I'm going to probably be doing laundry, fixing. Normally we stream everything. I'm not I'm not going to stream it on our channel. Chris is not.
Long. I learned
he doesn't want to do it either.
After All In, it was too long, and I couldn't watch Battleground.
That's why I'm keeping it. That's why I'm keeping it as a background noise, because I'm going to be doing different things. I'm going to do my chores, set up for the week of streaming and all that stuff. Because at 6 o'clock we'll be going live for Heat Wave, so we are going to be doing Heat Wave. And it just was a lot of undertaking last time when we did Great American Bash, as well as All in Texas. That was a big undertaking for us.
I missed the entire Great American Bash show. So
it was So it was a little bit overwhelming for us. I could see why content creators don't like the kind of programming, because it affects them personally, where they can't be negative in 2 separate days. They got to be negative in one show, jam it all together, and they can't get their super chats. And that's why they don't like the kind of programming. Me, I'm gonna pick and choose what I watch. I'm going to put my attention on Heat Wave. Vice versa. I know people are gonna put their attention to all Forbidden Door, not Heat Wave. Some people are not NXT fans. Some people are not Elite Wrestling fans. But it is to each his own. Going forward, let's talk about a little bit about the Impact. If you checked out, if you missed it, we reviewed the Impact Wrestling each and every Thursday. As soon as TNA Impact comes off the air, we go immediately live on YouTube for our live instant reaction. That's the only show currently right now that we're doing live reactions to. We wanted to do NXT live reaction. Monday Night Raw and SmackDown, we don't do it because a lot of people do that. And I know, and since we're going to do the weekly wrestling review, we decided to do that way. We just have a little bit of a knack that we tweak it and change it with time. Well, you guys are the ones, but your comments, your shares, your feedback tells us if you want us to come on live each and every show. We could probably do that. Also a persuasion of a super chat. Give us a super chat. Say, hey guys, I would love you guys to do this. Then we'll come on. Why not us? You give all these super chats to other guys that are just totally tell you how much they hate and they dread watching the product and how much they stinks and everything's negative. We're trying to bring a positive light and a positive spin. Give us our takes, and definitely. Thank you, Jake. Appreciate it. Appreciate your love. Thank you so much. And you have to. We want to just continue moving forward. Your feedback is what makes this channel continue to grow and continue to add. We had 20,000 plus subscribers, looking to try to get to 30,000 and more. And it's because of you guys supporting and being part. Now we could say we're proud to have a sponsor, Dude Wipes. So thank you, Dude Wipes, and many more that are coming this way. And of course, us. So let's get right into it. We consider ourselves the unofficial podcast of TNA Wrestling because we do the watch alongs, we cover them, we interview talent, and more here on the Sports Jedi Network. We talked about the Trick Williams, Mike Santana. Did you get the feeling restored? We will see on the Impact Zone next week. He's teaming up with Steve Macklin, taking on AJ Francis and Trick Williams. Can't wait to see where that goes. I just hope maybe AJ Francis become the number one contender to Steve Macklin's international title. Although I think Frankie Kazarian has some things to say.
Yeah, I do. I think Frankie Kazarian's going to be the next, not the next, but the next, big challenger for Steve Macklin's international title, like I talked about. And again, they're going to tease that, and they're going to have that match. Again, they had teased Frankie doing other stuff, and it hasn't happened. So this is something for good for I spread out the divisions and how I liked it, and I think Frankie really fits in that group. So it's going to be good.
Let me ask this other question to you, Chris. When it comes to the TNA brand, we're seeing at the end of NXT on this Tuesday, Marsha and Ash not seeing eye to eye. And let's say Heat Wave happens. It's going to happen tomorrow. JC Jane, I think JC Jane has a 90% chance of retaining and coming out of champion again. I don't think she drops that title.
Yes.
Does it lead Marsha versus Ash? But now you could add more to the fold, like circumvent tag team, where you could always reunite MK Ultra with Marsha and Killer Kelly back as a because. Let's face it, Marsha's great on the singles, but the microphone part isn't what's resonating to us when it comes to Marsha Slamovich. Where Killer Kelly is the microphone part and the attraction part, where her and Marsha they were super over before the paternity leave for Killer Kelly, and for Ash, we know that she works well with her group with the Elegance. Do you see that circumventing back that way, or you still think they're going to stay single? They
could. I mean, if JC Jane gets another opponent like Indy, I mean, they could circle back to that. Ash, they are the tag team champions, so it makes perfect sense if Masha still wants to go after Ash. So yes.
And if you're telling me we get for let's say Victory Road or even Thursday, the live show on the Armory, MK Ultra one time only says I got your back taking on Ash, the Elegance brand. You're gonna buy into it because they are a 2-time Knockouts tag team champion in MK Ultra, and now you're like, wow, this is a must watch. But what is, like you said, what it leads to you need a short-term number one contender for that Knockouts title. Right now, I don't think it's Indy Hartwell because Indy has her own triangle with Spitfire, either party members, Danny Newton and Jody Threat, where they have to sort that out because Jody Threat technically is your number one contender, but Jody Threat looks like she's going to put her number one contendership on the line against Indy Hartwell. Maybe that's a way to circumvent and buy time for JC Jane to stay your NXT Women's Champion TNA Knockouts champion longer, and buy time for Victory Road or even Bound for Glory. So I think that's what we're seeing there for TNA.
Yep.
And I wanted to make this quick.
Yep.
No, I wanted to make this quick observation here for TNA Impact taping. They will be Thursday, September 4th in Minneapolis, Minnesota. We need the people of that area from that part of the country in Minneapolis, greater area. Only 480 tickets sold as this current time. The arena is half full. There's still over 500 tickets left. Get your tickets to the Impact for the live Thursday night showing September 4th. Also, there'll be a Friday night September 5th showing. That's more sold out than actually the Thursday show. They got 682 tickets left, so the tickets are going quick for Friday rather than the live Thursday show. If you're a TNA Impact fan or a wrestling fan in that Minnesota metropolitan area or around, you have to be there. Don't miss out. TNA, it's live. That's one of the few times they're going to go live. They're going to be live in 2026. We believe it, but we got to make sure we got to let the TNA anthem people, let you know that that wrestling community is going to support TNA live each and every Thursday. So we have to, and then listen, I know that the tickets are expensive all across the WWE. There have been rumors of $70,000 for the 2-night VIP for WrestleMania front row, astronomical. One thing that's not going to hurt your piggy bank, your wallet, is a TNA Impact ticket. They're affordable. They're reasonable. You could still go with a family of 4, have a great time, have fun. Even the meet and greets are very well priced. You can meet the Hardys. You can meet the talent. And you're going to have a good time. Trust me, we went to Slammiversary. We could tell you, we seen it with the meet and greet lines and the love that the TNA brand gives to their fans. They provide an experience that not even All Elite Wrestling is giving you right now with their meet and greets, or the WWE without costing you an arm and a leg or a car payment and a mortgage note. TNA Wrestling is there. Take advantage, ladies and gentlemen. Take advantage before the prices are out of control, and then you miss out an opportunity to meet your favorite wrestlers at a reasonable price and put them on the wall, make memories that's going to last a lifetime with TNA Wrestling. So, Chris, ready for some SmackDown?
Yes, I am ready for some SmackDown. I love TNA. Love what they're doing. Catch us every Thursday, on the playback, watching it, reviewing it after the show. And even here on Weekly Wrestling, we still make sure to, still give them some love. So I love what they're doing over there. They got some great shows coming up, and I can't wait to talk about, what's next for a lot of these people down there.
Absolutely. And there is still about right there's about like 3,000 tickets 3,000 tickets sold already for Bound for Glory. I believe the arena is set up for 5,500, so there's like about 1,500 tickets left for Bound for Glory in Lowell, Massachusetts. Don't forget, you have to be for Bound for Glory. So if they're more than halfway sold out for Bound for Glory, once the matches and some of the card is starting to shape out, we already know it's the Dudleys, Hardys one last time. Santino mentioned Santana versus Trick Williams right now, but they could always add more stipulation to it. We'll see where that goes. So get your tickets for TNA, Bound for Glory, also near Edmonton, Alberta area for Victory Road. We want to make sure that we emphasize Victory Road as well. Tickets there in the Canadian area, in the province of Alberta, Edmonton. You still have a chance to see TNA in 2025 for Victory Road. Take a look there. Let's talk some SmackDown, where they went to Dublin, Ireland. Dublin, Ireland for SmackDown. We got to privilege to watch it at 3:00. We didn't wait until 8:00 for the international feed. For the American feed, we saw it in the international story there, where Becky Lynch returns home. She got a hero's welcome. I love how Becky Lynch didn't let them overtake her as a babyface. She went right back to heel, snapped out of it, and I love the way she did it. Professionally done. She did it professionally. Beautiful.
I liked it, man. I liked it. Obviously, she's in her home country, her hometown, actually, specifically Dublin, Ireland. Those guys haven't had a pay-per-view, not a pay-per-view, excuse me, a live WWE show like this in a long time, if not ever. So obviously, they're gonna get some chance. Becky, she's great at what she does. It's kind of like Logan Paul doing his thing in Cleveland, right? Or like AJ Francis on TNA is doing his thing in Baltimore. So I like when the hometown guy says, or girl goes, I had to leave this dump because like it's good heat, it's natural heat. But they were chanting, "We want Lyra," which was very interesting. So that was, Lyra's over in Ireland. Obviously, she's from there too. So maybe we see those two go at it again after Nikki Bella and all that stuff. That's being teased. But overall, good opening for the show. Obviously, you have your top star from there go out and welcome you guys there.
No, and I love that Lyra didn't have to come out to chase the hug, but the fans brought her in. Yep. And you heard it. She was there in attendance, ladies and gentlemen. But she didn't have to come out. Where Becky paid it forward, because she could have easily been egomaniac or egotistic to take all the love and stay babyface and say, "Love me, I'm from Dublin." She turned on the crowd. Lately, now they went to chant for Lyra, which helps her elevate another talent. She did three birds with one stone, which I loved it for Becky Lynch. That take note of that. If you're a heel going into your hometown, when the crowd wants to love you, you could still take the admiration, but still turn it around where you get the boos and keep your heat. Good job there by Becky Lynch. We got an interruption by Tiffy. Your Raw, your SmackDown Women's Champion comes out, interrupts, sets up a match. Nia Jax, then Jade for the win for the save, and then sets up your main event later on tonight, where you got Becky Lynch teaming up with Nia and Tiffany with Jade Cargill, strange bedfellows teaming up. Now I want to talk about that main event. The main event was great. Jade Cargill looked strong. They look like they can coexist. Obviously, teasing Jade and Tiffany later down the road. But I thought that Nia Jax continued to do the best work in her career lately. Yeah. She's just continued to. She does great, phenomenal work, and of course Becky Lynch in the ring. I thought that was a great dynamic, Chris. I loved everything that I saw from the women's main event.
I agree, man. All four of those ladies are doing great work. It was interesting to see both these teams try to coexist. Obviously, we know the history between Nia Jax and Becky Lynch as well. So it was interesting to see. I think Jade and Tiffany, they looked good. Jade always seems to look good with a tag team partner. So it was a really good main event. It didn't have too much time, but it didn't need too much time either. I enjoyed it. There was really nothing much to complain about there. Nia Jax, again, she's doing some of the best work of her career since coming back to WWE. And I think people need to, acknowledge that and give her a little bit more of her props. But the main event was great. I love the main event. It was a good job of they did a good job of starting and finishing it because, when you start the show and finish the show, usually things are like somebody else starts it with another close. I like how, it made sense from the start of the show for all those women to come back out there. So it was good. I really liked the match. I liked the match.
Let me ask you a question, Chris. Knowing how hot the international audience is, we saw it on All Elite Wrestling. We saw it here on SmackDown. I asked this question: do they have to? You have to do this when it comes to the promo segment. When it comes to the WWE, I feel that, like you said, it looked like they were running out of time because we were looking at that. Like, this is not Netflix where you can go a little over. This is SmackDown. You have a maybe a 10-minute override if the USA Network will grandfather allow the WWE to have it, although they haven't been using it lately like that. My point was they got to finish. And my question is, do you think the live segment promos where the European crowd or the international crowd, let's say international, is so over and hot that wrestlers are trained to let it breathe, let them chant it out, and you have to pause and the segments tend to get overbooked time-wise, like the Becky Lynch, and then we had a John Cena Logan Paul promo where they wanted to give John Cena his flowers, which this is the last time I see him in Ireland, and it went over, where you seen it at the main event and you saw it on the R Killings. That my point is, to R Killings was supposed to take on Aleister Black. That was your first advertised match for SmackDown in Ireland, and everyone was circumventing Killings, but R Killings ended up going to Dublin, Georgia.
So, yeah, I mean, you're back to your question with international crowds, right? Because I knew what you were trying to say before you really said it. Because wrestlers are trained to milk out the crowd reactions. And it sucks because when you have that big of a crowd and people are making that much noise overseas, it's like you can't hear if John Cena's talking in the middle of a promo and they're John Cena. What, you can't hear Cena, so he has no really a choice but to like shut up and just let him go, and it tends to take over again. Who back there is going to tell John Cena, "Hey, you got this much time"? Especially when he, last time ever retirement tour, they're gonna obviously. I'm gonna exaggerate when I'm gonna say they're gonna let him go however long he wants to, but to a degree, they're gonna let him go however long he wants to. So it's tough. It is tough because the crowd, they make the show better, but we've talked about that before with international crowds. On how the pros and cons. We've talked about that a lot, pros and cons, international crowds, and this is a big con with that. And we saw it in the beginning with Becky Lynch as well. We just got done talking about it. We heard it too, and we hear it in Europe. Even when the announcers are announcing title matches on PLEs, Alicia Taylor has to like, from whatever, and then so yeah, we love it. It sounds amazing on TV, and we understand, but it especially when you're on a TV show like SmackDown, you cannot not have that, but the talent, they just need to keep going. But again, can you with all that noise in the background? I don't know. That's tough.
And what about the Art Killings? Now he's back to comedy.
Yeah, man. Why? What's going on? Is he Ron Killings when he wants to be? Is he R-Truth, and then when somebody makes him snap, he's Ron Killings? I don't understand that.
Probably that's
I
what
don't
it is.
understand.
We got Damian Priest back.
Good. I love Damian Priest. If him and Alistair's good, fine. I mean, but why is R-Truth flying to Dublin, Georgia, and being a comedy gimmick again? I thought we were past that. I thought you guys brought him back for something else. Don't know.
Here's one thing that came out of this. Here's one thing that came out of this SmackDown. The tag team, Motor City Machine Guns taking on Carmelo Hayes and The Miz, where it's a number one contender opportunity, an opportunity to wrestle for next week, a number one contendership, where the Motor City Machine Guns, let's face it, they need a Monday Night Raw switch. Plain and simple, they need a Monday Night Raw switch.
Yeah,
They've done, because they're losing quite too much on a SmackDown, and you know that the Motor City Machine Gun should be a little more elevated. Whatever that case goes there. To me, Miz and Mello, the story behind here, they're going to that number one contender. They're doing the same thing with Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, where you're going to get to the point you're like, would you already break this team up already? Could we get to the main plot where we see this is one of these that don't need long-term storytelling booking right now. Just get to it. We know what's going to happen. We know Melo's going to get the push here. I said this and I'll say this again. Melo's being under the wing of the Miz because of the backstage stuff. I'm not saying Melo's bad backstage. No. Probably there's a way for Miz to take the kid under his wing, and how to maneuver in the backstage, where you came up with this pomp and circumstances from NXT. Now it's a little bit of a humbling, and Miz is the perfect guy to teach you how to get yourself over with no one behind you, with no politicking, because Melo's by himself. Miz was by himself. He had a fight over it, all the politicking against him. Remember, Miz had a change in the dressing room, in the broom closet, and all the crap that he went through, and he still is one of the most beloved, and you like him or not, longevity WWE superstars. I think he's trying to teach that to Melo behind the scenes, and now it's coming out. They're working together on television, all that stuff. Melo's going to be fine. Just get to the point already. Get to the point, because we don't want to start people to get disinterested in Carmelo Hayes, which I would never get dismissed, but the majority of the people.
Yeah. I mean, I have no interest in Carmelo Hayes and The Miz and what's going on. But that could be right. He could be, mentoring him up behind the scenes, and maybe they do something where they fight against each other. But I have no interest. No disrespect to Melo. I think Melo's dope. But in The Miz, everybody knows what The Miz, right? He's great. He's longevity. He does anything that company asks him to do. He'll nail it out of the park. I have no interest in this thing, in this feud tag team, Motor City Machine Guns right now. Not doing it for me.
That's the problem, and we got to get them. It's a 2-hour show. Maybe a fresh coat of paint.
If I was reviewing SmackDown, like, it would be like 10 minutes. Because I don't know. So, like, this show was fine. It's just some of the things on the show, I don't know. In the tag team division, they're stacked. It's just, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe they got the wrong teams. I don't know. I have no idea.
And they are emphasizing the tag teams. We saw the Street Profits. They had a nice match there with B-Fab. They got a victory. They're sprinkling stuff there. They're trying to, they got a victory against the MFTs. Again, Sami Zayn getting backstage. It's like, okay, every time you see Sami, he's chasing a hug. They just need a little, I don't know, they need something different. I don't know what it is, a shake-up. I know they're talking about draft and moving guys over and switching talents from here and there. We got Sammy in there. Gunther's Gunther's arrival to SmackDown. There's been rumors Gunther, when he returns, is going to SmackDown. So Gunther to SmackDown might be something different. Like, he's going to cause havoc and bring some prestige into that division, into that brand. maybe, and so forth. McIntyre doing good work, but everybody feels like he's a sacrificial lamb to Cody Rhodes' first title defense. This is where we wanted to get to, where Cody's not on television. But I'm gonna ask this, guys, and there's no disrespect. Every time Cody Rhodes becomes world champion, storyline wise and the direction of the company, or the way that the other tertiary branches, no one cares about. It happened to him the first time when he beat Roman. Listen, as much as people complain about, oh, Roman Reigns, you never see him on television, but everyone on the brand mattered, because they were all trying to buy and beat each other to try to be the one to break Roman Reigns' streak or Roman Reigns' reigns. Everyone mattered when Roman Reigns was champion. Cody Rhodes is champion. We don't give a shit. The creative is slugs. The creative is slow. I have to ask. I'm sorry. I have to ask this question. He's not, to me, brother, he's not cutting it as world champion. He could be, the kids could love him. The kids could dress like him. He's a good, but he, to me, as a face of the freaking Undisputed World title, he's not elevating the whole brand. He's elevating himself. Great. They're making, and you can say, oh, are you crazy? They're making the most money possible. People is hot as the Rolling Stones. You're right, because it's a fear of missing out when it comes to money wise. People are paying astronomical stuff, but do you think McIntyre is elevated? Who you think is going to get out? We're talking about how boring SmackDown has been, how terrible, all these other builds, all these other storylines. We're not Miz, we don't care about, or Mello. But when Roman was around, we cared about everyone on the card, from every mid card, the rise of Gunther, the Ricochet, when he was on the show, Braun Strowman when they teamed up. Now we don't even care about the Minnesota Machine Guns, the Wyatt Six, but you have to look at who is the face, who is. I don't even care about the
bloodline, Sami Zayn and Jimmy. The only thing I care about on this show is, not that I really care, is what Cody's doing with world champion. He's not there.
And a great one, Rib Shot. Who should be champion? That's a good question. I gotta ask this.
John Cena shouldn't have lost.
John Cena should have not lost, because if you're telling me Brock Lesnar taking on John Cena at WrestlePalooza coming up, you had more interest. And I know people hate Brock Lesnar, and you couldn't stand him, yada yada. He shouldn't get an opportunity, but you care more for John Cena to beat the shit out of Brock Lesnar, because he's defending the 17th. He's defending his 17th world title against someone that squashed him took him to Suplex City. You're more emotionally invested on John Cena being your world champion. Look, I said it again. Cody should have been John Cena's last opponent and taken the title in December 13th. It should have been Cody. Cody, you know what? You're the champion. You beat John Cena. John Cena passes you the torch. Again, I'm not saying that Cody is the baby face of the company, but I have to ask this question. When he's on top as world champion, everyone else doesn't seem to get elevated. Everyone else, the company, it feels like creatively and everything takes a dark, dim, boring direction. It's like, I don't know what it is, because everything leaded when the bloodline was on top. Everybody wanted to beat this damn family. They wanted the tag team champion. People wanted to take the tag titles off of the Usos. They wanted to take care of Roman. So heck, it even bled down to the North American title with Solo Sikoa in NXT. Now it's like, Chris, I don't know. It feels like it's stuck on neutral.
Yeah, man. I've been saying this since his first title run. He doesn't cut it for me. I mean, a lot of the matches he's had again with AJ, Logan Paul, all those, they really haven't been much. They've been long feuds. I know the AJ one went on a little bit. Kevin Owens was probably his best one, and that was towards the end of his run. So I don't really know what they plan on for Cody Rhodes to keep doing. I don't.
Because who do you think is better with the title, Brock or Drew? Neither
right now. They don't have anybody else on SmackDown to have it besides Cody Rhodes, bro.
Cody's going to be that title.
I don't want Sami Zayn to have that title. I don't want Drew McIntyre to have that title. Brock, we haven't seen him since SummerSlam. I mean, Who are you gonna have as your world champion right now besides Cody? I hate to say it, but
Cody is the guy, but he's not elevating anyone around him.
no, he didn't do it his first title run either.
In fact, I think he digressed Solo Sikoa's career by beating him the way he beat him. I think Solo has not recovered from Cody in a program with Cody Rhodes instead of having him elevate Solo. You can't say that about Roman. Roman elevated everyone he beat. Everyone went after fighting Roman Reigns, and even John Cena said it on Busted Open himself. Whenever Roman Reigns, whatever opponent he defeated, they kept going over after defeat. When you cannot say that about Cody Rhodes. You cannot say that about Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, no, you can't. Roman Reigns made LA Knight look good. He made Logan Paul look good. He made Cody Rhodes look good. He made Sami Zayn relevant.
Sami Zayn to the point where we thought he should have been the one at Elimination Chamber to beat him. That's how hot it was, and wanted him to be shoehorned in that main event at WrestleMania 40. That's how hot Roman made Sami Zayn, and Sami Zayn took advantage of that too. Surely Cody, but chasing a heel champion makes better television. That statement is 1,000% correct, Rib. That is 1,000% correct. When you have the heel champion, TV is better when the babyface is chasing. Absolutely. And I think most of the time they rushed the Cody Rhodes onto. They had a year to it. They just needed a couple more months for Cody Rhodes, in my opinion, when the first time around, and here another couple more months. They just had to wait for that December, where, of course, if you want to pass the torch, it would have been better because all eyes was on John Cena, and Cody Rhodes winning it. People would have been like, I understand. This is the new John Cena, and Cody Rhodes and John is going away. Yeah, I get it. He's passing the torch. He's passing that title. Well deserved. No, they took that moment because they had to justify their 2 nights gate.
Yep.
The 2 nights, of crap they gave on SummerSlam. Let's change the title so we could justify all the 90,000 plus that came in and spent all this the uber amount of money, and it just was. I don't know. They did it wrong. I'm gonna stick with it. Again, I'm not opposed to Cody Rhodes being the world champion, but he's not elevating anyone around. He's not making the whole company, the superstars of tomorrow. What next feel important? I just feel Drew McIntyre is just a stepping stone. And no offense to Drew, Drew's doing his best work here to try to be a heel, mentoring Logan Paul. But Drew is not going to be Cody Rhodes. They won't pull the trigger. I don't see it.
Nope. Especially not in this first title defense.
No.
Especially not in his first title defense. And look, should Drew be world champion at some point? I wouldn't be totally opposed to it. But give me something.
And I'm not a Drew McIntyre fan. I'm not a fan of his. I think he's boring, but I think he deserves a title run. A nice 45 to 60 day title run. Yes.
I agree.
And I agree with that. The heel champion being chased by the babyface makes great television, and Drew will make that television. He would actually not be as boring as I don't like. I think he will be very entertaining with that world title, undisputed world title, but I don't know if they'll pull it. There is no room. Where? Unless if he takes it up from Cody and Clash, and John Cena gets it there, and he has that run, and in his again, and I don't think they'll do it, because I don't think they'll do it, but they put themselves in the pigeonhole, with the creative and people complaining and not liking it, and just I don't know. I'm more confused with you. I wish I would give you better solutions and I don't want to sound like I'm complaining, but I'm trying to put my opinion.
I have been with you, and I've felt this way since he won the title at WrestleMania 40. He's not going to elevate anybody, and his first title run isn't going to mean anything because they rushed it. Another rush. The same reason why this second run isn't going to mean much, because they rushed it. The 2 times Cody has won the world title, it has been rushed, in my opinion, and it doesn't mean anything, and we can't soak it in, and we can't look forward to it.
No. And I know, and this is from And these are from two people that are wanted Santana as the world champion in TNA, and now they made us wait. So I'm like, okay, you could rush for Cody, but you couldn't rush for Santana. You know what? We're gonna be open minded. We're gonna wait. We say Cody has been good for business. Let's see. I personally don't like the run that Cody has going in as champion. Now we'll find out, when it comes to TNA, how they do that with Santana. What's next? Mm-hmm. We said that when we came back from Slammiversary. Okay, Santana would have won the world title. Who's the heels in the company next? Because he already went and we named the names. He already beat. We don't have anyone elevated yet. No one has brought himself up yet. Now, I hate to bring, I'm comparing with TNA to WWE, which I know people are like, don't you dare, but I'm going to. Santana wins that world title at Bound for Glory, coming up at Final Resolution, and Mustafa Ali has been raising in the ranks. Even if they did that already, yeah, but Mustafa Ali has been raising in the ranks and becoming and setting himself as a major player with Agent Zero. That's an obstacle for and there's history there. There you could now you have your heel for Mike Santana coming out. The same thing they didn't do here for Cody. It's like who. It felt Drew was too busy doing something else. Whatever happened to Drew going after all the Bloodline family members that he was trying to get knock out for causing them issues? They totally abandoned that storyline. There's so many potholes here when it comes to the creative that it kind of frustrates us. Again, we're not saying Cody shouldn't be the world champion. Cody is a world champion. He is a face of a company, but I felt his time to be on the mantle felt forced or rushed, where they could have just gave us a little more time. Then it would have meant more special for us. But it's just us two. That's probably just our opinion. I don't know how the vocal minority thinks, but it's like, what's the rush? What's the rush there? Why can't John Cena waited another more title defense, 8 more title defenses before dropping it to Cody Rhodes eventually? I just, Chris, I don't know. I don't know what, I guess I'm going to have to say like The Rock, shut up and watch wrestling and enjoy it.
That's what it's going to have to be, man. That's just what it's going to have to be. But again, at least I know we still got Cena. That makes SmackDown at least somewhat watchable. But I got to be honest. I truly, truly do not care about this show, about SmackDown. There's a lot of things that could be skipped. Again, if John Cena is not advertised, I mean, I watch my SmackDown Saturday mornings anyway, because Friday nights I'm usually got something going on. But to make me actually like sit down and watch it, even then, it's like I just want to see 1 or 2 things, and it can't be like that. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens when Cody's done filming Street Fighter, and we'll see what happens. Here going.
That was another. I'm glad you mentioned that. Thank you for mentioning that, Chris. Sorry, you mentioned a great point. If he was going away to do a movie to shoot Street Fighter, why not have the title on John Cena so he could have been serenaded at Ireland and Dublin yesterday with the world title, and then defending it on Clash of the Castle, on Clash of Paris. I mean, I'm already, John Cena versus Logan Paul, another world title matchup for Logan Paul, but you know what? Now with Drew McIntyre lurking as a mentor, I would have liked to see that. Yeah. And if Cody not going to be there doing a movie and back and forth, that would have just been. Again, it just makes me scratch my head when it comes to some of their decision making here. It's like, make it make sense, because the money, obviously the people have the money to invest and pay for the tickets. Just add more storyline, because the person who thinks is a little expensive, and if you give them a good storyline that a fear of missing out, they're going to go to the arena. They'll go and get that second mortgage loan to go sit at section 300 to watch the wrestling. Let me read this rib shot before we get out of here. He says, I love to see Brock as a champion in a long build to drop it to Jacob Fatu at some point. I don't know if they'll go with Brock as champion, because people are complaining about part-timers in 2025. I think Brock is going to go on a retirement source soon. You might get that Fatu and Brock, but maybe not for the world title. But they'll definitely. I think you're going to see that collision course between those two, Brock and Gunther, especially if Gunther's moving over to Friday Night SmackDown. You're going to get to see that Brock Lesnar Gunther after Cena, in my opinion.
Yeah, Jacob and Brock would be a good fight, or be a good match.
And we'll see. we'll see. We got Heat Wave tomorrow. We'll be doing a watch along on our Playback app. Playback app, the video, the descriptions in the video. You can watch the wrestling with us on the Playback. We'll definitely, where it's not YouTube. We're able to provide the feed and watch it and react and watch along, chat interaction. Come check us out on the Playback Sports Jedi Network channel. You see the description in our video. Don't forget our like, subscribe, and share. Check out our WordPress blog. Don't forget to follow Chris at PGH Chris TV on X, as well on Instagram, also our channel. You could email us on the show. We're open for sponsorship. We're open for all that. Super chats are always welcome. We appreciate all the love. It helps us to upgrade our equipment, also provide better coverage with our cameras and so forth. These things could get costly, with all the different equipment to bring the program. And we appreciate everyone's love and admiration. Check us out. Comment in the video. Leave your comments. We always read them. We always appreciate all the comments. Shout out to our guy, Ryan Nemeth, for commenting in the comment section there on our short. Thank you, Ryan. We talked about you in a good way. Not bad. We appreciate you there. And also Mike Santana, thank you for liking, retweeting our post as well. Everyone in the TNA, Steve Macklin during the week, and all the TNA talent that likes and support and retweets our support. Tyra May Steele as well. Good luck and congratulations on your first premium live event with Trevian Heights. Go kill it, young lady. Go kill it. Go represent the United States, the Stars and Stripe. Have a fun PLE. First and foremost, forget about the noise, outside noise. Tyra, go out there and have fun. Go out to have fun, because we're going to be cheering for you on the premium live event for Tyra May Steele from the Sport, your boy, BX Sports Jedi, PGH Chris, the Sports Jedi Network. Go out there, and Trevian Heights as well. So, Chris, say your goodbyes, and we're out of here, man.
Yeah, man, good show. It's always a privilege to be here, talk some stuff with Kev, talk some wrestling, talk to you guys in the chat. Yeah, I'm excited, man. We got a long day of pro wrestling tomorrow. This has been a good show. We got a lot out of there. Again, make sure you keep checking us out not on Playback, not just for every show, but YouTube as well. We're growing, especially on the TNA side of things. So I'm excited. Man. We got some good wrestling to talk about. Next week's episode should be a lot too, with Forbidden Door and Heat Wave to kind of start off our show. So I'm excited.
All right, man. Don't let life pin you. Always kick out. Get yourself over, and may the sports be with you. Like I tell everyone each and every stream. Que Dios lo me bendiga. We got some interviews coming up on Wednesday as well. I wanted to make that real quick. We got some live interviews coming up. So check it out. We interview the wrestling talent. So here, hit the notification bell, and we'll see you next time.